Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our lunchtime chat. We are very, very excited this afternoon. We have Jeroen de Baat from Capeforce. Welcome, Jeroen. It's such a pleasure to have you with us this afternoon.
Yeah, likewise, Priya. And good
Thank
afternoon,
you
Kate.
for
Hello from Amsterdam.
hello from Amsterdam. That's very exciting. How's the weather in Amsterdam this morning or this afternoon?
It's getting better. It's getting better, I would say. Yeah, not too
Okay.
bad.
All right. Well, it's really, really cold here in Cape Town, and I'm sure everyone in the audience is all snuggled up under blankets, but we're going to have a really great conversation this afternoon. Jeroen is the partner and co-founder at Capeforce, and Jeroen is going to take us through who Capeforce is, his association with Capeforce, what it is that they offer. And so this is just going to be a great 45-minute webinar series. So let's get started. Jeroen, maybe you can tell us, let's start at the beginning. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, happy to do so. So my name is Jeroen, originally from the Netherlands, Amsterdam. Yeah, as I said, I'm now the partnerships manager, co-founder of Capeforce. Yeah, obviously the name got inspired as well by Salesforce, the famous CRM company based in San Francisco. Me and my business partner, worked there quite for some years. Yeah, but prior that as well, so I had the opportunity to do a lot of remote work and volunteer work in South Africa. So there we built like a connection of going back there a lot of times. Also have family in South Africa, so I think it already started at a young age. Yeah, you feel the connection to the country, and yeah, basically because of our work at Salesforce, where we were able to do a lot of remote work and volunteer work. We built and started the company out of that. But I think it's good to take the guests here a bit with me regarding my educational background and studies. So
Thank you.
to start with, I did my bachelor's in international business. So always interested in potentially working abroad. Really interested in how organizations work together, build teams, and when I finished my bachelor's, I was completely clueless. Okay, what's next, right? So a lot of students out there, you continuously need to progress and then suddenly find a job. Because back then I was kind of clueless, but I knew one day potentially I would love to build our own company. And I decided to pursue a master's degree in entrepreneurship and innovation. And
Okay.
back then I got accepted in Sweden for a university degree, and that was in Uppsala University, kind of a small students town. And from there I got really into what's it like, how to build a company, and it was kind of focused on technology as well. So fun fact: the same founders of Skype did the same program. Um, and it did it from there in the studies I needed to do like a lot of projects with regards to technology. And also I founded like an own sort of supermarket app. But from there I really learned like it's kind of tough to build our own company. You need to know like a lot of people or resources or have a great idea in the first place. And then from there I thought maybe just start a career in technology. It was always my dream to work for a big company. And from there it started to work out a bit that way. Yeah.
Okay, that's very exciting. I love that you did your master's in entrepreneurship. It's
Correct. Yeah.
usually what we see is a situation where someone does their master's in business, for example, and they've got a couple of courses in entrepreneurship. But to have an opportunity to specialize in a field that is so growing across the borders, across the world, is so great. And sort of combining that with the element of technology, because that's exactly where the whole world is essentially
Exactly.
going.
Yeah. And I think that's
Um,
also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, please go ahead.
No, I want to say that it could be a good career advice. So I use my master's as a sort of specialization for working potentially in tech and in the entrepreneurship field. And one advantage for making that move was in Sweden you could study for free for European citizens. So it's a good way to think out of the box, explore your options there, and it can be your shortcut for a good job in the finally. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's so true. And that ties in with what I was going to say. So I mean, I'm familiar with Capeforce. We're very proud to have you on our platform. So you know that ties in with the element of entrepreneurship and technology and technological advancement and also education in this field for graduates in South Africa. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about what Capeforce does.
Yeah, sure. So initially, we are in essence a tech academy. So we focus on training local South Africans become familiar in the Salesforce world. So we train them as junior admins and developers. And yeah, basically we offer a online e-learning module where they start working on their collecting their points, working their way up, and become more familiar with all the clouds and applications that Salesforce offers. And if the students reach a certain level, they're able to apply for our bootcamp program. And in that bootcamp program, so the first edition we hosted was for 3 weeks in Cape Town. Then we helped them with certification, project management, and career development. And all of that at the end of the program, we hosted a graduation event where we connected students with the employers as well. Yeah. So that's basically
Okay.
and essentially, yeah, what we offered there for the students. Um, yeah, in a nutshell.
And so when I was on your website earlier on today, you were talking about untapped potential. And one of the things that sort of resonated with me was where you say over 30% of graduates stay unemployed or
Yeah,
find themselves in a job that don't match their skill set. And
yeah,
then you talked about the boot camps and the workshops. So obviously the boot camps and the workshops sort of emphasize on this mismatch of skills. So maybe you could tell us a little bit more about what the workshops and the boot camps actually offer for the students.
yeah, sure. No, so during the boot camp, it was an intense program of 3 weeks. So it was kind of cool. We rented the office space in Gardens in Cape Town, and we had several breakout rooms, offices, and we divided the group in of 20 students in the first place. So we had a team blue and team green, junior and senior. And yeah, the first week the workshop was all about prepare them for the examination. So with that examination, you are obtaining a certificate, so like a sort of degree, and with the degree, it can be a specialization in a certain cloud of Salesforce. And that shows, yeah, you are able or capable of a certain field in software and you're able to manage or configure the software piece. And that can be very valuable for companies that want to hire you. So the first week, the workshop was really about preparing them for exams. One exam costs $240, so quite expensive. So we want to make
Okay.
sure everyone was well prepared. Of course, a resit is not that bad, but I mean, we want to prepare everyone. Everyone is comfortable, and yeah, if they pass the first time, they can focus also on other things. So the first workshop was really about preparing them for that. Second workshop, the week after, was about project management because we see a lot of potential and talents in South Africa. That's for sure, but especially for juniors and graduates, we see a lot of gap in practical experience at meaningful jobs. So what we try to do was offer a sort of program with all kinds of companies and experts that were focusing on how to gain project management skills. What is it like to start as a developer? So we hosted workshop by experts coming in on site and online in calls to explain how to gather requirements of projects, how to work agile, how does a complete project implementation looks like. So we showcase some demos and those kind of things. So the second week was really about getting familiar with the actual work. There were guest speakers coming over, um, with a few banks or IBM coming over. And it's pretty cool how those experts shared knowledge and their expertise, how and motivate the students how they could become professional in their expertise. So that was the
Yeah.
second, and then the third week, was all about career development. So as a next step, how can we prepare those students getting jobs? So it was really we started to update their CVs, help with LinkedIn, but also how does a conversation with a recruiter or a hiring manager work? So it was really funny actually. So in the whole building, in the campus, the Capeforce campus, we call it, we did all kinds of role plays. So people needed to pitch themselves, like what are their strengths, why they want to apply, and we took that also in the pitch. So the students developed a pitch for themselves. They learned through the week, and eventually at the final day of the bootcamp, they were able to pitch then on stage to a potential company that's going to hire them. And
Okay.
so that's in a nutshell the workshops a bit. Yeah.
Okay, this is very, very exciting. I have 100,000 questions to follow up from this, Jeroen.
Yeah.
So, if you could please bear with me. So, firstly, I just want to confirm, and I have some students in the audience who are asking something similar. This
Yeah.
is a hybrid 3-week workshop that Capeforce offers. Someone would like to know if they are regularly hosted during the course of the year.
I like the question. So to be honest, so Capeforce was launched last year during an event in Joburg, during a Salesforce event where we pitched ourselves as a talent partner. And from there, we built our company, our community. That was my job, to get in contact with the universities, with tech companies, with students, and build an audience. So we launched the first edition in February, which was 3 weeks, right? So in a sense, the program was set up that we prior the on-site bootcamp. So that was on-site at location. So we asked everyone to come to Cape Town. We want to create a community feeling that everyone just know how to collaborate, build a network. That's better on-site than online.
Yeah.
So our initial program was online prior to bootcamp because we offer a e-learning platform leveraged by Salesforce called Trailhead. So everyone is able to make an account, go on our website, follow the learning journey, and follow the modules that are presented there. That could take 1 month or 3 months, depending on your level of familiarity with Salesforce. So going back to the question, so we hosted for now just one time. It was partly online and 3 weeks on site. But this coming fall, we're working on a new program for a longer period that we host these kind of cohorts every quarter. That's our goal.
Okay, that's fantastic. Jeroen, tell me, how many students at the initial launch? How many students did you have in the program?
Yeah, so that was kind of impressive. So even just with one promotion flyer, one email to all kinds of universities, I reached out to you guys like, hey, can we work together for promoter services, right? We have a beautiful opportunity for students. And it took off quite big. So yeah, just with a few simple tools, we already got 560 applications.
Wow.
Out of those 560 applications, 180 students for young professionals, they were really starting to work on our platform because
that is fantastic.
Yeah, so 180 students really got into our program, followed some courses, and out of those 180, eventually, we did 48 interviews online, and we were trying to understand. So what's the background? What's the motivation? Why Capeforce? Why you want to work in Salesforce in that area? And we selected the top 20. So
top 20.
Top 20, yeah, correct.
Okay, all right. Well, that is fantastic. One of my questions that I wanted to talk to you about was when on the website, when you're talking about the unemployment status, I wanted to ask what Capeforce was doing about this, but I would like to commend you.
Yeah.
If these are your hiring statistics, they are absolutely fantastic, Jeroen.
Yeah.
We have a question from the audience. We have a student who would like to know, what are the minimum requirements to join your program at Capeforce and Salesforce?
So in software terms, we call it open source, but we are an open platform. That means, we are open for everyone. Without it doesn't matter what kind of background, degree, or where you're from or your economic situation, because we are a non-profit. We sponsor it, so basically it's for everyone. But the majority of the program is online self-study. So you need to show your commitment. So if you're motivated enough and you really want to leverage our resources, dive into the world of cloud Salesforce, then this is for you, and you are happy to join.
Okay, all right. So students, just for your information, it's no particular qualification. You've just got to have grit and determination, some confidence and
Correct.
know-how,
Yeah.
essentially. And then the rest of it, K-Force works on. Jeroen, I just want to clarify something. Earlier in the conversation, you mentioned that the first exam was $240. And just now you mentioned that it's obviously, we know K-Force is a non-profit, so
Mhm.
payment, you sponsor the courses. So would the students pay for the short course?
Uh, well,
How does
luckily
that
not.
work?
So we got our own sponsorships and donations. So we fully are funded by donations. Yeah, we truly believe we need to give graduate students or young professionals just that platform for change. So we sponsor everything, and our model works. Eventually, when yeah, a graduate got hired via a partner company of us, then we ask
Yeah.
a certain fee that would cover the educational costs. That's the initial idea of our program. But yeah, in this way, we sponsored everything. So that's, yeah, it's no guarantee for a job.
Yeah.
However, we sponsor the learning program and the vouchers for certification. That was the initial idea. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's fantastic. You know, there's recognized certification behind the whole program, and for students who are interested in going into this, that's what it is. You get the experience and you get good qualifications or recognized certification
Yeah.
behind what it is that you've learned, essentially. Jeroen, let's talk about the partnerships a little bit. You've now mentioned Got Hired and Salesforce. Maybe you could expand a little bit on your partnerships.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think it's also good to shed light on a bit of the history, because
Yeah.
yeah, a few of our team members worked at Salesforce, and yeah, one thing what really truly inspired me at Salesforce was to give back. So they had adopted a model that they were able to share 1% of their revenue, so their equity, the software, and the hours of the people to nonprofits. So with that in mind, we were also able to yeah, go to South Africa and do some remote work and volunteer work there as well. So yeah, with that connection in mind, that also employees of Salesforce were able to do volunteer work. So when we hosted our bootcamp, we had a lot of volunteers from Salesforce coming over. So that created really a, yeah, your partnership from the operational level, that we got their yeah, support in certain matching programs, but also in terms of the close connection with the current employees, that were able to share their knowledge as a mentor, as a coach. So in that sense, we are a, yeah, talent partner, and you see that a lot of employees of Salesforce were able to join, share their expertise, and that is really creating a value proposition, because there's no other program in Africa out there that really could offer this. Of course, there are many similar, but not in this setup. So I think that partnership with Salesforce is really special. And with regards to, yeah, other partnerships, so we are closely working together with the top universities for promotions. We have a lot of companies from South Africa we work with. So it can be consulting partners that install software, or yeah, companies that hire talent, or companies from Europe that, yeah, also looking for talent. So yeah, we have the ecosystem behind us, and that, I think that is a driving force. So we're very proud of that.
That's so great to hear. I think my what I really appreciate about what K Force is doing in conjunction with the partnerships
Yeah.
is you mentioned during the workshops in the third week there's the whole process where you're teaching the students to pitch in front of potential employers, and you're inviting local employers as well as what I'm hearing now, a few overseas partners that you might have. And that's so great because there's a lot of value that I see, and I'm sure you agree with a potential employer actually meeting a person in person as opposed to just seeing some qualifications on a piece of paper. The sort of relationship starts being built a little bit closer.
No, correct. Yeah, so that's why we came up with the idea to host like a sort of graduation ceremony, also like a sort of party to end the boot camp. and also to showcase or building a stage for the students to showcase what they've learned, and for the employer to meet and find their talent. So it was a two-way win-win. Yeah, and for us also to build exposure for the upcoming bootcamp. So yeah, in that sense, I think it was a sort of physical application process, and yeah, eventually out of that program, so we hired 3 interns ourselves to continue the activities. So one for the website, one for the CRM, and one for marketing. And out of those 3 interns, one lady got hired, and she's moving from Joburg to Cape Town. So that's one big success story, and one career at a time. But we would love to see that more in the future. But with
Yeah, absolutely. Oh no, 100%. We are on board.
Great.
So I've got an interesting one question from the audience, and this sort of ties in with what I was thinking about what you just said now, where you have one of the individuals coming from Joburg. So Lisa would like to know from the audience, what drew you specifically to come to South Africa to launch this project?
Yeah, good question. So yeah, we need to go back in the years to 2020, right before the pandemic. So yeah, because we worked for Salesforce, we had the opportunity to do volunteer work there. And yeah, back then, obviously, if you come there as European, with European salary, and you can work remotely, and it's summer while it's winter back home, yeah, you see the beauty, right?
Yeah.
The nature, the animals, and everything is a dream. But what you also see is the challenges of the country. So what really triggered us is, yeah, when you come there and you see like the high unemployment, you meet a lot of young people. They are extremely talented, educated, but there's a lack of opportunity. And yeah, it's really striking to see the big gap between rich and poor. And I think that triggered us, like, hey, if we could come back there and really make or share our knowledge with what we have learned during our time at Salesforce, or what we learned during our working career, if we could connect that and share that in the country of South Africa and help people out there, yeah, it would be the best of both worlds. So during the pandemic, we were able to do remote work. We were at the opportunity to come back, and yeah, there the whole idea was born for starting a program like this. And because we had the opportunity to work with nonprofits a lot, so I did a lot of work with, for instance, Tech Grounds or Blue Road Academy, and we thought, yeah, if we could develop such a program in South Africa, yeah, why not? And we could help students out there. So that was a bit of the original, foundational plans, and yeah, that really triggered us to build a company there. Also, due to the same time zones and everything. So I think it was the perfect match.
Was it difficult from a business perspective to enter the market 4 years ago when you decided to bring the project to South Africa? Was there a lot of red tape, is basically what I'm asking you?
Yeah, there always is, because if there's load shedding, no one has internet.
Oh, shame. Fair enough.
No.
That is exclusively an African problem.
Exactly. Yeah, we found out as well. We went to the best co-work spot in Cape Town, and then suddenly we're out of internet. No, it has its challenges, obviously. But I think it helped that we, through the years, we learned more and more people. So from the volunteer work we did, we connected with the owner of the project, and that helped us set up a company there as well, to be in total transparency. So we had our local network. I had my family there, so it helped as well to be more familiar with the people there. And from there, it took off. But so eventually it did not start like 4 years ago, but we did some market research over time.
Okay. Yeah. So offices in Cape Town, are there any offices anywhere else in South Africa for the sake of our audience?
Yeah, good question.
Tapping in from other places?
So fun fact is, from our bootcamp, so we first hosted on a location in Cape Town, But out of the 20 students, the half or more than the half came from Joburg. And we were like, okay, they are talented. They want to come. But yeah, a lot of them, they don't have even all the funds for the flights and accommodation. So we offered seriously a lot of scholarships. So we offered them the funds to travel to Cape Town. Yeah, on the terms that if they would have a job later on, they would pay it back. So what I'm trying to say here is that a lot of our audience and interested applicants came from Joburg. So in the future, we might host as well like editions in Joburg, and that's something we are developing now with a partner of us to see what office can we leverage. Are we going to start again in Cape Town? Likely yes, but we could also do in Joburg. So that's a good question. Thank you.
Okay. So I just got another really good question from the audience, but I really want to spend at least 10 minutes before we finish up, and we've got time talking about the upcoming workshops, but let's deal with this question first. Someone in our audience would like to know, on your website, it mentions Ubuntu. Can you talk more about what Ubuntu means to you?
Yeah. Oh, I love that question.
Yeah, me too.
It's actually where it all started for us. So we were able to do volunteer work at Ubuntu, and Ubuntu was a lion farm in South Africa, near the Western Cape. And yeah, back then we didn't know what Ubuntu was, but then we found out Ubuntu stands for humanity, right? Connecting all the people in South Africa, no matter what background. So yeah, we got inspired by that vision, and we use it now as a sort of cultural thing to bring together all the people that we want to bring in our community. So Ubuntu means for us actually the same, but we try to bring that as well and building our community with Capeforce. And it all started with the volunteer project that was called Ubuntu. So yeah, but great question.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful, and I appreciate the experience that you had when you came to South Africa and experienced the whole concept of Ubuntu as we experience it here in South Africa. Okay, Jeroen, so I have quite a few questions coming from, let's talk about the next workshop. So one of the big ones is, how do students sign up? And you said in the fall, are we talking August? A little bit later? Is it going to be in Cape Town? Is it going to be in Joburg? Just tell me everything about your next workshop.
Yeah, to make a correction, sorry, I thought I was explaining like our fall, so that's October.
Oh, your fall.
So we need to adjust our terminology here. So our plan is now to start a new cohort in October with, again, 25 students. Everyone can sign up on our website. So soon in July, we will send out some new promotion and instructions, so you can sign up there. So you need to wait for a little while. So we announce when the application process will be open. And unlikely, we first start in Cape Town again, but if it will be otherwise, we'll let you know. And prior October, it's your job then, to finish all the courses again on the website. That's one part of our offering. But we will share some instructions how the new program and the longer term program will look like, because that's one of the feedback we got from our current program that was quite short, and to really be and prepare students for a job in technology, you might have to have a longer training period. So we are in contact with partners to try to fix that.
Try and fix that. Okay, cool. And I'm assuming it'll be sort of a similar deal. If someone is willing to come from one of the other provinces, they are welcome to, if they qualify for the workshop.
Yeah, exactly. So it's open for everyone. Show your motivation, and then we take it from there with interviews, and and the first 25 persons can sign can make it to the first bootcamp. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, what's going to be your basic criteria to determine the 25 individuals?
Yeah, so obviously motivation. basic. Yeah, you have obviously motivation. Of course, we look at degrees, but it's not like a major factor. Yeah, it can be someone's history, because we are going to look for junior Salesforce administrators, but also more senior ones, or the ones without any prior knowledge. But it would help if you have more certifications already, yeah, and expertise, some working experience, internships. So that all helps in the criteria, yeah, of being selected. Correct.
Okay. For our audience members, the address, the website domain is capeforce.org, so you can go check it out. As Jeroen has mentioned, there will be information on the website shortly, closer to July, as everything is being sorted out. So that's very exciting news. You must be very excited for the next workshop, Jeroen.
I am, and my whole team is excited. So we're very much looking forward to it. There's a lot of work that needs to still be done to design like a longer, impactful program. But yeah, with the audience we already got, with a few simple tools, with the flyers and everything. Yeah, this will be a big success for sure. So yeah.
So tell me, you mentioned now prior to October, when the course or the workshop starts, there will be certain learning that the students would have to have completed. So what's that about? What kind of online learning process is that about? Or going to be about?
Yeah, good question. So normally, if you go to our learning journey now, you see a few modules you can follow. That's sort of training modules, and that's based on an existing platform which is called Trailhead. And on Trailhead, you're able to collect and answer like a lot of questions to familiarize yourself with the software modules. And it's on a fun way. You start learning, you're collecting points, you get up the ranks. So that was one way for us to determine like if someone is skilled enough or motivated enough to join the bootcamp. Because if you reach like 50k points, then you become first ranger in rank, and then you're able to progress. So yeah, for a first pilot we did, that was one of the key metrics that we used for students to apply. So that could be potentially be another criteria we're going to have as sort of filter again for the upcoming selection. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is almost on a level, some sort of an incentive for the students, like building it up, sort of the excitement behind it, see how many points that they can build up. I think that's a great concept you have there.
Yeah, and it's a fun way to learn something new, but it eventually can also lead to like a real next career move. So I think it's on both sides. You learn something new and you get into a job more quick. So I think that's a win-win. And yeah, so take the advantage of the resource.
Yeah. So it's open for students and graduates. What if you have someone slightly younger, maybe in matric, or someone older with a few years behind, on the belt? Like, what's your age range?
Yeah, that's all fine. I mean, we're also looking for seniors that potentially could lead the teams and help out. So yeah, if you're more older, that's all fine, and we could use some seniority and some leadership there as well. So there's always a way we can find to make it work. Yeah.
And what about younger? So we're looking at, let's say, matric students, for example, who might be interested in the certification. Would you be equipped to assist them?
Sorry, say again. What kind of students?
So high school kids who are just about to graduate high school.
Yeah. Potentially, we could find a way that you could also leverage or step into the program. But ideally, our goal is to help students and young graduates, young professionals, really help them towards their next job. And from high school, they might not be interested in having a full-time job afterwards. So I don't think that's really a fit. But yeah, they're happy to start learning on our platform to become more familiar in the expertise. But for a full-time job, I think it's too early.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think they also have to go through the process of studying whatever it is that they that they have to. And there are a lot of short courses that are available for matriculants in South Africa. These ones are the ones that we're now talking about, are equipped for students and graduates in South Africa. As someone from overseas, Jeroen, who operates a business and clearly has a passion for South Africa, South African students and our graduates, what advice do you have for our students in South Africa from your perspective?
You mean like career-wise, or?
Yeah, career-wise.
That's a good question. I think first of all, learning is ongoing, right? So the power of education, I really believe in that. And I think studies, your bachelor or master's degree, is nothing something final. So what I learned during my career so far is that, yeah, there are a lot of online courses, platforms like Capeforce or ALX. They can be tremendous valuable. So don't stop learning after your bachelor or master's degree, but also don't feel, yeah, dismotivated when you don't have any degrees, because there's so much out there nowadays, free online courses. Leverage those, but they also don't look only at education. Also look for, what is your motivation? Do extra activities, sports, volunteer work. It can all be triggers for employers to hire you. So I would say that would be important. And also
Yeah.
what I found out during the program is that, yeah, when you focus on transferable skills, it can be tremendous valuable if you learn how to tell a story around it. Then you can show an employer like, hey, I worked in a factory or a supermarket when I was, 10 years, it was 10 years ago, but I lead a team of 16-year-old kids. Doesn't matter, but I showed my leadership, and that translates very well in this leadership position at Absa Bank, for instance.
Yep.
So it's about, being able to articulate the transferable skills. And I think that is something when you just start working, yeah, you don't think of that yet. And we found out in the Capeforce bootcamp as well that a lot of people are maybe, dismotivated. They got a lot of applications going on, but they got got refused all the time. So I think it's great to focus on that and keep up the motivation. And besides that, from a practical perspective, tailor your CV for every time you apply. Set up a LinkedIn. Create maybe a personal website where you can showcase your portfolio. Really dive into the projects you did, maybe at school, internships. So that's what I did as well. I lived in a few multiple countries, but I always went there for work or studies or internships, and it all suddenly, sometimes you don't see the picture, but then later stage it will support in a way.
It's I love that you were saying that, because I feel that I personally, I think I sound like a broken record when I'm always talking about being a well-rounded individual. And the very fact that you're talking about this, that's probably why, our organization Gradlinc has the employability awards, because we keep saying it's not just about the piece of paper or the qualification. What else are you doing? Where are you volunteering? Where are you playing sports? What are you doing? How are you showing yourself to be the best candidate for the specific job? And I really appreciate the fact that you're saying this too, because then, this is what the employers are looking for, not just the piece of paper.
No, correct. And also without like a lot of practical experience, you need to showcase the employer that you are, familiar with their business. So really read into what they're doing, and pitch yourself in a correct way that you showcase that you want to work there. And other than that, go to network events, go to those world tours or the AWS events. Big corporations have a lot of those events that can be valuable. And that's in a nutshell a bit.
But that's so true. So confidence, research, you've got to have grit, you've got to communicate, you've got to listen properly. Hey?
Exactly. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. On those soft skills, we're nearly out of time, Jeroen, but I'd be curious to know what would there be more soft skills that you could add to my list of communication and active listening for the students?
Yeah, so during the bootcamp, we also focused on soft skills because that's a big part of really working in your working life. So we added there, we focused on teamwork, leadership, but also presentation skills. How do you present yourself, but also knowing yourself. So we did like exercises on, making a SWOT, so the strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats, and also storytelling. I think that is also key in delivery and convince employers, and that could also be my key advice.
Okay, that's wonderful. I love that. So we have a question from the audience. There is an individual here who'd like to know if there is opportunity for students abroad after completing your workshop. So I'm assuming with your partners back at home.
Mm-hmm. Great question.
Are there opportunities? Yeah.
Maybe in a later stage. So at this moment, and we set up this program also to lift up communities really in South Africa, and that's our goal. But in the future, you never know, and there might be that because we have an extensive network that you potentially could be hired by a European company. That could be possible.
Yeah. But for now, obviously, all the opportunity. They do say that Africa is the most the most rapidly growing continent at the moment, and all the innovation and startup advancements are coming from right here on this island, right?
Exactly. So a lot of exciting times ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeroen, we're nearly out of time. I was afraid this was going to happen. This has been such a wonderful conversation. I just want to send my thanks to you on behalf of myself and Gradlinc for taking some time out of your Friday afternoon and talking to us and our community and our audience. We really appreciate it. And Gradlinc is very excited to continue working with you.
Likewise, and I hope that a lot of students and graduates, young professionals, will sign up, and that we will see them back in October.
Absolutely. For our audience members and for our Gradlinc students, you are more than welcome to get in touch with us. If you're not too sure where to go, you can email our support@gradlinc.co's email address, and we will happily forward your information into the right departments at Capeforce in order for you to be considered for the upcoming workshop in October. That will be an absolute pleasure. All right, Jeroen, I think it's time to say goodbye. And once again, thank you very much. And thank you to our audience members for all of the wonderful questions. We appreciate your input.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye, everyone. Bye, Jeroen.